Oh, hello. Hi. We're live. Hello, everybody. I'm Amanda Call. This is my YouTube channel, and this is a page we've been working on for like 3 weeks so far, and this is the fourth and final week we'll be working on this. Wait, has it been 3 or 5? I don't know. Anyway, we've been working on it for a while. Worked on it for a while. We're going to finish it up now. Might have been 5. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna get as close as we can to finishing it this evening. We've done all of the drawing of all of the things. We've done the pen and inking, and now we're going to move on to brush, which is what I normally do the figures in and any of the like big spot blacks. And so we're gonna get through as much of this as we can on the stream tonight, and then I'll just finish up whatever is left after the stream is over. So we are all prepared. I have my inking brush here, my Winsor Newton Series 7, size 4. I also have the Winsor Newton Indian ink, which I actually didn't open before the stream started this time, so I could actually show it to you. So I have that just off to the side, out of frame. All right. And now my brush is loaded up and we can start rolling. And I will attempt to stay in frame, guys. I will do my best to stay in frame. But anyway, so yeah, here in the US, it was a long holiday weekend. How did everybody's weekend go? It's Hungry. Hey. Hey, Hungry. Yeah, that's good. My weekend, so it's been like we've had so many weeks of just constant rain here. And Saturday and Sunday were still rainy. Saturday was like really rainy, and Sunday was at least still kind of rainy. And then finally, yesterday, our bonus day for the long weekend, finally, we had a nice, beautiful sunny day. And so, like, I had a bunch of like projects and stuff that I was working on, like around the house and everything. And of course, like working on artwork. Um, Made a lot of progress on this comic, did a lot of inking. But oh yeah, I had a I had a hole in a ceiling to fix. That was fun. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you had good weather. Yeah, I feel like I live in the Pacific Northwest lately. We've had so much rain. It's like this past weekend was like the ninth weekend in a row of rain. It's been absolutely ridiculous. And every week it'll rain like all week and we'll like maybe get 1 or 2 days where it's sunny, which is just absolutely draining the life out of me. But then, yeah, so I got a fun little home repair, patching a hole in the ceiling job done on Sunday because that was something we could do inside. So, like, there had been a hole in the roof or like a small leak in the roof that had, caused damage to the ceiling, but the roof leak had already been fixed like a while ago, but then the ceiling inside had never gotten repaired and it just had this like big ugly hole in it. So we took care of that. But this wasn't in my house. This was in my in-laws' house where it's like It's like a really old house, so it's also kind of interesting when you're doing a repair in a really old house. It's a little bit of like a archaeological expedition as well. You're like, "What am I going to discover when I start pulling things out of this wall? What is gonna be in here?" I found some old wallpaper from who knows how long ago. It was actually pretty cute. I don't know how much of it is still, like, other places in the house or if it was only ever in, like, that one small area. No idea. But I was just like, "Oh, look at that. Ancient wallpaper." And then finally, Monday was a beautiful day, and so, of course, because everybody was home, I was just like, "Quick, go! Go, go, go! We're gonna do all the things! Get outside! We have so many projects we have to catch up on." Alright, my camera's actually a little bit too close, and I keep, like, bapping it with my brush. Oh, that's fun. Carpenters used to put in the day's newspaper when closing up the last wall to find in the future. That's cool. I imagine if there are any newspapers in or if there were any newspapers in the wall in my in-laws' house that mice have long since eaten them, would be my guess. But yeah, we got a lot of gardening work and yard work and all of that kind of fun stuff done. I went down to the town's memorial park and put out the bunting because it was Memorial Day. So now our park looks all nice and festive for the summer for all the patriotic holidays. Hey, someone's saying. And of course, there's always more to do than I ever can manage to get done, but I feel good with what we did accomplish. But I got to a certain point in the afternoon where I was like, I've already been doing this for several hours, and it's like, oh, I could probably still do this thing and that thing and this thing too. And then it's like, but also I'm hot and tired, and there are bugs trying to get into my nose. I think I've had enough. Like when you finally get the good weather and you just go super hard and then you're like completely exhaust yourself because you're just like, "Oh my god, go, go, go." That's been me the last couple of days because today was really nice too. So I spent like most of the morning at work just staring out the window like I'm going to try to focus on work and get the things I need to done while I'm here at my day job in the office and I'm just like staring out the window like, "No, it's so pretty out. I want to go play in the dirt." And then pretty much spent all afternoon playing in the dirt, which was good, but still getting eaten by bugs and possibly overexerting myself because I was just so happy to be outside. Little cocktail napkins. Do, do, do. Before Mickle starts shredding his. Oh, oh, no, I hear creatures. I hear creatures either right outside my studio or like in my studio wall. I don't like that. All right. And then we've got this little central leg of this high top here that they're all standing around, which we're going to fill in. All right, two guys. Two guys completed. We're moving at a pretty good pace through this. It's pretty good progress for the first 10-ish minutes. It's Joe Dent. Hello. Oh, yay. I'm glad. Glad you were able to make it this time before I was already getting ready to sign off. Doing pretty good. Been enjoying finally having some decent weather here. This grouchy old guy. There we go. Like his like you ever do digital stuff? Yeah, just Mostly the only digital I do is coloring. So like this project is gonna be digitally colored. I don't draw or ink digitally. I will color digitally. I do prefer to do like for illustration work, I prefer to do everything traditionally. But a lot of times, like for comics, it doesn't make much sense to color with like anything other than digitally because it just takes so long. There are just too many images to do. Unless you're like specifically doing like a watercolor comic or something, which I am not good enough at watercolors to do such a thing. I like there are watercolor comics and they're gorgeous and they're amazing and they take their creators a bajillion years to work on. And I just am not very patient with watercolors and also I don't have a bajillion years to work on that right now. Um, but yeah, so for comics coloring, I work digitally and sometimes for illustration work, I'll digitally color as well. But drawing is all done traditionally still. I've never really gotten the hand of drawing digitally. I don't like it. Uh, what do I use for coloring? Ugh, Photoshop. I'm still just using Photoshop. It's probably not like the best application out there. Like I know a lot of people love Procreate, but Procreate is only an Apple product and I don't have an Apple. I don't have a Mac. I have a PC. I have always been a PC person. That was the camp I first found myself in, and please don't make me learn to use an Apple product. I'm confused just thinking about it. Yeah, I've heard Krita is good. I have not tried it. I bought a bunch of the Corel stuff when they were on like a Humble bundle or something. And I've tried noodling around with it, but I am not understanding it very well. So it's the biggest reason I'm still coloring my comics in Photoshop is because that's what I learned how to use a very long time ago. And yeah, when I still had time to learn new things. Now it's like everything I create is on some kind of deadline. I don't have time to learn a new program right now. And I mean, I suppose I could if I really wanted to. I definitely could like make time, okay, to learn a new art creating software, but I don't wanna. There are other things I would rather do with my spare time or like professional development time. Like if I'm going to be doing something that's not actively working on, that's not like just hobby time where I just recharge, but time that I'm spending like actively developing my art skills. I'd rather spend that time and effort like doing more figure studies or like practicing my skills with something like watercolor or other types of traditional media painting or, that sort of thing. Well, that's good to know that it's easy to pick up. But yeah, Photoshop is very much the devil for me. It's it's the one. It is the devil I have been intimately acquainted with for many years. I will also say I'm not like the most tech savvy person. Used to use Photoshop years ago, but when they went to the cloud, I didn't see the point in paying for it when I wasn't making money for my art. That's totally fair. And if like when they moved to Creative Cloud and I was no longer able to make my old like CS3 or whatever copy work anymore. Um like when I had to upgrade my computer and I couldn't make any of my old my old like student copies or whatever work anymore. Um yeah, at that point I was already creating art professionally. Like I wasn't making a lot of money, but I was making like I did have like jobs where it was like, "Oh, you have to have this done by a certain amount of time or whatever." And so I was already trapped. But it made it more reasonable for me to like justify the, $10 a month to do Photoshop when it was like, okay, but also I am doing work with this, at least at the and, even at the time, it was like, yeah, I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm making enough to cover, like, the $10 a month, so I totally if I had not been in that position, I probably would have changed at that point. Because yeah, I if I didn't have, like, paid work that required me to already be using Photoshop or whatever, I probably would have just been like, "Ah, screw that, I'm not I'm not paying you people forever." And I do totally agree that the cloud is bullshit. Okay. Yay, first panel's all inked. Look at that. Woo! Okay, my brush is being fuzzy. I need to find my little I have other pages that are, like, in progress over on the side here that can't come out on camera because it's a secret, and also some of them are not YouTube friendly. Okay, there we go. I was looking for this my lovely, scribbly piece of Bristol there for honing the point of my brush when it starts acting a little fuzzy. And it was buried under other comic pages. All right, and here's Wickle anxiously shredding up his napkin, which was not in the script. I just wanted him to be doing something like with his hands, and he seemed like of these three characters the most anxious, most likely to be doing something like shredding his napkin because he doesn't know what else to be doing with himself when he's trapped in an awkward conversation. Bugs. No one invited you. Go away. It's a black fly. It's gonna be like, sure, I'll go away. I'll just come over here and bite you on the face. Hey, it's Alan Barr. Hey, Alan Barr. How are you? Fine, just background streaming while I work. Can't stream the sort of work I do. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of be like, hey, watch me lay out a document. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Your editors might kill you. That's fair. Ah! I just bumped into the camera. Good job, Amanda. Uh, my friend Jeremy, who I did I Am the First with, I don't think he still does this, but for a little while he was doing these like writing sprint streams. So he would like live stream and it was like he'd have like a little like a overlay type thing. And when he was doing a sprint, the overlay would have like the countdown that showed you like how long was left in the sprint. So it would be like 20-minute writing sprints, right? And so he would just like put on his headphones and just ignore the stream and write for 20 minutes. And that was the whole thing is like he had to just be writing for the 20 minutes. And then when the 20 minutes was up, then he would, you know, he would pay attention to the stream again and like hang out and chat with people on the stream for a little while and answer questions or just, babble about whatever. And sometimes there would be like a guest. And so the other person he would chit chat with. He hasn't done those in a little while, I don't think. Or maybe he still does. And my various social media platforms are just like, you're not allowed to see the things that you're interested in because that's how they all work these days. But I thought that was pretty cool as far as a way to like do something like writing that you can't really, and you couldn't see what he was writing. It wasn't like up on the screen or anything. It was just the camera was just on him. And so it was very much like a Twitch stream hangout and chit chat type thing with just like these little bursts of like, and now we're going to write. And the idea too was that you could also hang out and participate in the writing sprints. So you could also use the 20 minutes to be like, okay, now just write. No more being distracted. Just write for 20 minutes. Oh my God, the bugs. One of them just landed on my neck. Stop it. Joe says, "What are your favorite comics? Do you read alt comics like Fantagraphics type stuff?" I do. I do read some of that. I really enjoy that stuff, of course. Um, geez, of course, this is like my brain always does the thing when you ask me like, "What is your favorite whatever?" I'm like, "I've never heard of that in my life. I've never heard of a comic. What's that?" Um, it's just how brains be. Seriously? Seriously? Little bug, get off of me. Go away. Get out of here. Get. Some of my favorite comics of all time include Bone, of course, Fruits Basket, one of my favorites. It's the big questions, they flood the brain. Yeah, it's just like, I would like to access this entire category of information in your head. And then my head just goes, no, that's too many. It's too much of a category. Can't do it. Ooh, fun. Copy of the relaunch for Metal Hurlant came. Oh, ah. Oh, beautiful. That sounds so nice. Just reading Bone. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It was very funny. My uh 9-year-old last year, his teacher last year was just like, yeah, he's really smart. He gets the lesson right away, and so then he gets bored, and to keep him amused, I just let him read comics. Like if he's clearly got the lesson and he's done his work, then he can just read comics. That's fine. Um And so he had and he, like, eventually read literally all of the comics that she had in her room, and then, like, started rereading some of them, but it was just very funny. One day he comes home and he's like, "Mom, have you ever heard of a comic called Bone?" And I was like, "Child, that is one of my favorite comics ever." Yes, I sure have. Which was also just funny because then he's like, "What? That's one of your favorites?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You've read it?" I'm like, "Yes, I have the giant book of all of them. It's so good." Um, One of my favorite series that hasn't done anything in a while, at least I don't think so, was, the Kabuki series by David Mack. Oh, it was so good. I just loved how, like, layered everything in that was, and especially later on when he got into, like, Scholastic approved bone. Right? "Hey, it's Spud. Hey, Spud." Yeah, and, he's also been reading the Wings of Fire graphic novel adaptations. He loves those as well. I think he mostly started those at school, and ah, that's amazing. Did a signing at your local when it first came out, got there late and got your signed copies like an 8th printing. Yep, very cool. And what's the oh geez, I can't think of it now. I'm drawing a blank. There's another really popular fantasy comic that he got into that I haven't read yet. Amulet, that one. Yeah, he's been reading that. I have not read that one yet. All right, end times. Seriously, little bug, you need to go away. You're being very annoying, just running in circles up there. No, not a Kickstarter. Joe had asked what some of my favorite comics were, and after the initial my brain not working because someone asked me what is your favorite whatever, like blank, fill in the blank here. Uh, I mentioned Bone as one of my all-time favorites, and we were talking about that. There is a Kickstarter of some sort? Question mark. What are you even doing? Go away. What are you doing? You're just walking in circles up on my page. I mean, I guess that's preferable to you trying to eat me, but still. Oh, no, there's another one. Get out of here. Oh, cool. He's doing some nice, like, limited edition type reprints. That's cool. Oh, that's exciting. You were so in my way, sir. What are you You were 9 when Bone came out. Oh my goodness. You're perched on his nose. You can't eat him. He is a drawing. Now this bug is seriously just camping out on this guy's nose. Get out of here. Mm, there we go. All right. Yay, look at that. We've got 3 panels done. Bit fall well very much. Yes. So these guys, these 3 guys, there was like very minimal description of them in the script, in that like Cotton's supposed to be the oldest, and there wasn't really much description of him other than he's just the oldest one out of all of them. Um, Bumgarden's supposed to be heavier, have big sideburns and like an Elvis like kind of hairdo, but he's also older at this point than when we first see him in the script. And yeah, bigger guy. That's about it for oh, and wears short sleeves and a tie. Which description just really gives you so much right there anyway. And then Cotton, or no, that's Cotton. This one is Wickle, the young guy. Uh, the youngest guy is also bald and has big glasses and wears suspenders. And that's it. That's the extent of the description I was given. They're all different types of like evangelical preachers, and so I looked up a bunch of different like evangelical preachers and tried to find ones that I felt like kind of fit the look of what I had in mind, and I'm using their likenesses as kind of like a jumping off point. They're not exactly based on them so much as like it gives me kind of like a touchstone for what their features are going to look like. And then Robbie Starr, he did actually have a likeness in the script that was referred to. Um, and the other 2 bandmates that only exist in the story for these couple of pages are based on my dad and my uncle Jim from when they were in the band. Plausible deniability. Yeah. They're kind of like these guys. No accusations of uh, slander or libel, please. All right, working on the last here. We're at 45 minutes in. Okay, so we've got like 15 minutes or so left. We could probably get pretty close to being done, if not actually done in that time. Which just a reminder as we near the end of the stream of what I'm working on. This is Prophets of Doom, issue 1. This right here is page 8, which I will finally be done with after many streams here shortly. I have to figure out what the next page I'm gonna stream is. I may work on an Age of Night page next. I may work on their Prophets page. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. Let me know in the comments if you have, or in the chat here, if you have a preference. If I do another, whoops, I forgot to put in the mic cord there. If I do another Prophets page, or if I do switch back to an Age of Night page next, I could do either one. The challenge with Prophets pages is always finding one that I can actually work on the stream. Because some of this is very not suited for a general audience. Like, I have the stream set as not for kids, but there's still, like, a limit to the amount of, like, over the top violent imagery that YouTube is happy to have on its platform, which is a lot of this comic. Happy with whatever. Well, I appreciate that. That's a good attitude. But yeah, Prophets of Doom, written by Joseph Schmalke, drawn by me, should be coming out later. First issue should be coming out later this year. Our preview ash can is already out in the wild. And there'll be some pages in from this in more skulls. There are skulls in Prophets of Doom too. One of the main characters has a bear skull for a face. More skulls would also be a possibility. But yeah, to eventually finish what I was trying to say earlier before I keep on sidetracking myself, if you want to follow more stuff about Prophets of Doom, which should be coming out later this year, you can follow that on midnightfactorypress.com. Plus, obviously, I'll be posting about it too. We are in like the last 10 or so minutes of the stream, so I'll go ahead and do YouTube things while I'm getting this as close to completion as I can in the time that remains. So yes, as I was saying, this page I'm working on, this is Prophets of Doom. I'm Amanda Cole. This is my YouTube channel. I do these art streams every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you like watching me work on art, usually comic pages, then you should like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the fun YouTube-y things. In addition to working on Prophets of Doom, I also am updating my webcomic again, and that is Age of Night, which you can find at ageofnight.com. That's AGEOFNIGHT.com. New comic page every week, and the whole thing is available to read for free. However, if you would like to support me or see comic pages a week early, you can do that by supporting my Patreon. And that's patreon.com/ageofnight. You get free comics for signing up. You get Age of Night pages a week early, sneak peeks of other stuff as I'm working on it. And depending on the tier you sign up for, you can get more cool free PDFs and hard copies of comics as well as a perk for supporting me. And also, no matter what level you choose to support me at, I super appreciate it because it helps me out a whole bunch. And even if you don't, or you can't, or anything else like that right now, that's fine too. I also appreciate people just coming in, offering their support and little bugs. I don't need your support. Get out of here. And also, upcoming events this weekend. May 31st, I will be at Galacticon. It is a free to attend one-day show in Brewer, Maine. And there will be lots of cool comic creators and vendors, comic shops, lots of fun stuff. Definitely check it out. It was a very chill, very fun little one-day show last year. I'm looking forward to doing it again this weekend. All right, last panel. Let's see how close we can get to the end here. This last panel of Wickle looking confused and slightly fed up. Just like, what do you want from me, guys? I don't understand. What are we at? We're at 8:56, so we might just make it. I think I did all the YouTube things. I think I remembered all the things. Did I forget anything? Let me know if I forgot something. Oh, 3 minutes. 3 minutes left. This is an arbitrary deadline, but still, it's the whole thing. I try to keep the streams under an hour. I don't even know if this is, like, relevant anymore. I always used to hear that it was, like, a thing on YouTube, but also I don't really care about whether or not something's a thing on YouTube because I am better things to do with my time than try to game the YouTube algorithm. But, just, like, setting even an arbitrary, like, time limit just kinda keeps me from having this be a completely, structureless little "What is this? Get off my brush! Go away!" Oh my gosh. It's devolving into chaos over here. So close, so close. I don't know what drives the algorithms. No one does. No one actually does. It's a mystery. And there we go. We did it. It's done. Yay! 59:15. I did it under an hour. All right. Finally, this page of is complete. How exciting. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out with me while I finished up this page. I will see you all next time. Bye.